let's get to it. Breaking down matchups I think should be made after UFC Houston Strickland versus Hernandez, starting with John Paul Lebanose. Jean Paul, ladies and gentlemen. I think that he should be fighting Andreas Gustafsson. All right, this guy Andreas Gustafsson, he beat Cass Williams in his debut, and then he got knocked out by freaking Renat Fakhretdinov. Dude, he's a fun fighter. He was fun against Cass Williams. Really fun in the clinch. Lebanos, I think he can be a fun fighter, especially when he's in there with another fun fighter. I think he's going to constantly come forward. I think that, this fight's going to be explosive. I think it's probably going to end in a finish with the way that these guys fight. And I think this will be a really good matchup. I think they match up really well with each other. I think it's a pretty fair matchup. Yeah, let's get that booked. Now, Ponele Soriano. Look at this guy. He had a fight. We removed Brian much. It was fun, but he's starting to kind of prove himself. Let's give him Ponzi. Let's give him Ponzi. He'll probably beat Ponzi. Maybe not. Who knows? But this is a good. I don't know, like a little step up. He doesn't deserve a super big step up. It was like kind of a close fight. I mean, he clearly won, but it was kind of close. I feel like maybe not close, but it was really competitive. So he doesn't deserve too much of a big jump up after that performance, I feel like. But he should be fighting like a Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzi's coming off a KO loss. He needs a little bit, of a step down. And I think this is a good matchup for both of them. I don't think Ponzi would be getting chinned either in this one. I think Soriano wins probably, be by decision. But who knows? Maybe D-Rod sent Ponzi's chin to the washed realm. Who knows? We'll find out. Things are Alden Correa versus Ode Osborne. Right? Ode Osborne just lost his fight against Alibi Idris. Alibi pretty clearly won and controlled the fight, but Ode had some success as always with the power, and Ode he looks sad, man. He looks sad. Guys, I know, fighters, it makes sense to be sad after a loss, but dude, like Phil Rowe and Ode Osborne, dude, they look depressed. Look like somebody shot their dog that morning. Anyways, Alden, he had a really good performance the other night. Alden Correa had a really good performance against Luis Garule. Almost got a sub, almost got a KO. I think Ode Osborne is a good step up for him. A really good step up for him. It's winnable for both guys. I think I'd probably be going Alden Correa. I think he's pretty good and technical. And even though he kind of just got in the UFC, he's already looking like he's improving, fight by fight. So yeah, I think this is a good matchup to make for both guys. Makes sense. It'll be competitive. I like competitive matchups. We got Alibi Idris, man. Alibi Idris. He knocked down Ode Osborne, man. He dropped him in round one. He dropped him. You can argue it was more his stumble, but still. Sumadorji is probably a good matchup for him. He doesn't deserve ranked yet. I know, Ode Osborne's a guy people look at kind of close to the rankings. And he just fought a guy like Steve Garcia, but look, Alibi lost to Joseph Morales pretty freaking badly. That's his name, right? I'm not messing that up. He got, he got messed up by that dude, and that dude's going to be pretty good. He's going to be a problem in the top 10, dude. But, he should fight a Sumadorji and then fight ranked, right? This will be a nice little boring fight. Competitive. Alibi will probably win, but it's the best matchup to make right now to give him a path to the rankings. It's no one's getting slimed out or anything. It's just a matchup that the UFC is probably going to make, because that's something else to take into account. The UFC is probably going to make it. It's a realistic matchup. Matchup that makes sense. So, yeah. Levy versus Sumadorji. Now, Carlos Leal, man. Dude, his output is crazy. That EPO is crazy. he didn't look this acneed out in that fight because this is back what he looked like in his UFC debut on 308. But anyways, he should be fighting the winner of Randy Brown versus Kevin Holland. I think Randy Brown's going to win, so that's why I got Kevin Holland on the shoulder there. So, yeah, I think Carlos Leal versus Randy Brown, that's the fight to make. That's a really good fight. Carlos Leal is really... that's a really intriguing fighter, man. He's got really high output, high cardio. But his finishing potential against someone who's not Alex Morono is interesting. But Chitty was a good matchup. Chitty's a really good guy outside the rankings. And that was an impressive win, and he just, clearly outputted him. The striking stats were fucking false. Carlos outlanded him like crazy, especially in that first round. And the striking stats made it look like there were 2 strikes apart, which is just incredibly untrue. Carlos Leal did not get hit that much. Carlos Leal is also one of those guys that has, a guard that, you really got to pay close attention to notice that shots, don't hit him as much as you think they do. His slips and his defense is, very, close and tight. It's just, things are barely whiffing, things are it's hard to miss. It's not, a blatantly, defense where he's got really, wide head movement, and his defense is just really, clear to see. I think that Randy Brown would be a good matchup. Yeah. If he beats Holland, and Holland would be a good matchup if he beats Randy. If Kevin somehow wins, I'd pick Carlos to beat Kevin. Randy wins, it's probably what's gonna happen. This is intriguing, man. What my prediction is gonna be is honestly gonna depend on how Randy versus Holland goes. What Randy's performance looks like. Let's go on to Zachary Reese. I'm not doing Michel Pereira. Why? Even though we got the win, well, I think Zach could have won. And I also think that, Michel Pereira got cut from the UFC. So there's no need to make a matchup. Cesar Almeida is a good matchup for Zachary Reese. He proved that he's not that good. Cesar Almeida isn't that good. He needs to get back in the octagon. Zachary Reese likes to scrap and brawl. As I saw against Michel, he was the one trying to make it fun. Michel was being weird and looked like a shell of himself. Michel. But anyways, yeah, Cesar Almeida is a good matchup for him. I think it's winnable for both guys. Zachary Reese could just get freaking starched out. But, you also cardio grind him to a decision. Who knows? But yeah, that should be interesting. I think Zach would use grappling that one and probably get it done, but it's an interesting matchup. Maybe not interesting. It's a good matchup it's a matchup that makes sense right now. But Zach needs a step down too. Jacoby Smith, congratulations. You are graduating to the Stone Age. You get to fight Mike Tybeck Orabai, buddy. Mike Tybeck Orabai in a cave. Oh yeah. Not in the, they better not put this in the Apex, but I think they should make this. Mike Tybeck Orabai is always fun. Jacoby Smith, crazy KO over Josiah Harrell. I had a terrible prediction in that fight. But Jacoby Smith is proving himself to be really good. If he's able to make it past Mike Tybeck Orabai, he should get a shot at the rankings. So this is the fight that's the winner of this should probably be getting a shot at the rankings. They'll be in the same position as a Joel Alvarez. They kind of already are. I think Joel Alvarez should be getting a shot at the rankings, by the way. But at the same time, I could see Joel fighting either of these guys, and that matchup would make sense. Either way, winner of this should get a shot at the rankings. Especially if, one of them gets a finish. This is a really good matchup, I feel like. Yeah. Ante Delija should be fighting Vulture Walker, man. That's what I was saying in my last video, my short. Vulture Walker needs a boost up in the rankings. I know he's saying, all I can do is heel hook, man. I want to fight cans, chocolate pepper pig, man. But no, shut up. Give him Ante Delija. Ante just lost to Spivak. I want Vulture in the top 10. Give him a top 10 opponent now. Give him Ante Delija. He'll probably win. He'll win. I trust in him more. I don't trust in Ante after whatever the hell he was doing against Spivak and jabbed up by Spivak. What is it with these Team Tom Aspinall not being able to handle jabs? No, I'm kidding. But they do keep their chin up in the air, man. And jabs, you can hit him with a clean jab, man. Ante got jabbed at way more than Aspinall did against Gon. Gon landed like 3 jabs. Spivak landed like 20 plus on Ante. So anyways, yeah, this is a great matchup, I feel like. I think Walter could get a submission here. We saw in the Bursky fight, Walter's definitely got disadvantage. Probably, has a stand-up disadvantage. So maybe he could get KO'd here, or outboxed. But yeah, I think this is a good matchup to make. I think it's a fun matchup. Ante's always gonna be fun. That's how his fights have been. So I think they're both gonna bring it. Sergey Spivak should be fighting Sergey Pavlovich. This makes sense. He needs a boost up in the rankings, and everyone else is kind of booked right now. I would have liked him versus Blades more as a matchup. But yeah, this is good. It's winnable for Pavlovich, but Spivak's striking is getting better. Maybe he can use the grappling. Maybe he can get the takedowns. Maybe he can, make it even on the feet. We saw that he's got decent cardio for 3 rounds. Pavlovich has been looking. We saw in the road strike fight, he doesn't have the same need to get a KO anymore, that same aggression. So this is an interesting matchup now with the way that Sergey fights now. Sergey still probably wins, yeah, but hey, this is kind of intriguing, man. Sergey probably wins, but this is still a good matchup, and the matchup that should be made. So there's no one else either of them should fight, I feel like. And Dan Ige, obviously, he's got to step down, finally out of the rankings. Shouldn't. Him being in the rankings in the first place, I don't know how he was in the rankings so long, just losing. And then he early stoppage Sean Woodson to keep his gatekeeper spot. Nah. He was kind of a fraudulent gatekeeper, which is crazy. A gatekeeper and a fraud. So this fraudulent gatekeeper, was somehow able to make it close with Lopez, who just got knocked out by my goat Melky, should be fighting Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini just beat Shepe Mariscal. He's 8-2 in the UFC. He left the UFC, got cut, even though he was freaking 7-2. It was weird. But then did he get cut or did he just leave? Anyways, he left the UFC, came back, beat up on Shepe Mariscal a little bit, in a clear decision win. And, Pat Sabatini, this is a good fight. He needs to jump up a comp. 8-2 the UFC. His only losses are to what? 2 guys that are ranked? What is it, Lopez and someone else? I don't remember who else. Was it Melky? No. Lopez and Allen or something like that. But anyways, this is a good matchup to make. Pat Sabatini versus Ige. Ige deserves a step down, but not too much of a step down. And Sabatini deserves a step up. Winnable matchup for both guys. I'd be picking... At this point, I'd probably be picking Sabatini. Especially after a vicious loss like that. I don't know if Ige is going to be the same after that. That's the first time ever getting finished. And he got spinning wheel kicked in the freaking face. So, we'll see. Melky Zeller Costa, man. He should be fighting Arnold Allen. He needs to step up in the rankings. A lot of guys above him. There's Zalal and Garcia who deserve step-ups themselves. I was considering, Garcia versus Allen is also a thing. But then, Garcia versus Yair. But then there's also Lopez Yair. Look, featherweight's kind of weird right now. But I think that this is a good matchup to make. I think this is probably what they're going to make. But yeah, I think that Melky should be fighting Arnold Allen. I think this is a good matchup to make right now. Strike while the iron is hot, man. Melky's hyped up now. People are hyping up Melky. I'm hyping up Melky. We're all hyping up Melky. Let's see if he can do the Arnold Allen test. I make this matchup because it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't like it that much. I'd rather Garcia versus Allen. Never mind. I think that Garcia should be fighting the winner of a freaking Aljo versus Zalal or something. I think, yeah, with how it is, I think that Garcia should be getting a jump up like that. Especially because of, what he did to Melky. And it's going to age especially well Melky beats Allen. But yeah, this is the matchup to make, I feel like. And now after thinking about it, I think this is a good matchup. I'll be looking forward to it. Yeah, this matchup makes sense. It's good. It's fun. Both these guys are fun. We'll find out if Melky is really about it, man. Whether he wins or loses, we'll find out. Jeff Neal should go fight retirement. He should retire. But if he doesn't retire, look, this guy got KO'd twice in a row, and it's... Come on, man. Really badly, and I think his career should be done. He doesn't need to fight anymore. But if he fights again, give him Gunnar Nelson. Give him a nice little grappler. Nice little, a favorable matchup like this. This should be good. If he doesn't retire, then make this.
Man, I think I should give Uros Medic a chance to slime me out. Yeah, I really think so.
Yeah, I think that Uros Medic should be fighting Leon Rocky Edwards, man. He called him out, and why not? Why not? Leon just got slimed out by Prates. Let's see it. Let's see it. It's winnable for Leon. I don't think his chin's that extinct, but, Prates is a crazy finisher. So Leon probably wins this one. Uros called him out. He deserves the matchup. Leon deserves to jump down the rankings, so book it. Imagine if Uros slimes Leon out. That'd be crazy. That'd be an embarrassment. I'm sorry, Uros, but you're not that good. You're not that good. Jeff Neal's a wash. That's why you beat him. You're not me and Edwards, dude. It'd be hilarious if you did, though. Yeah, this is the matchup to make. Hernandez should be fighting the winner of Kyle Baralho versus Renier de Ritter. I think I really want to see him fight a guy like de Ritter or Baralho next. Sean Strickland should fight the winner of Hamzat versus Nasruddin. Look, I know he's only on a one-fight win streak, but it's not like, he lost the title, and then it's not like he immediately got a title shot like Sean O'Malley. He beat Costa, then he got the title shot, and now he got another win again over someone in the top 5 like Fluffy in an impressive TKO fashion. One of the most impressive performances of Sean Strickland's career. It's not me glazing Fluffy, that's me glazing Sean. I am kind of Fluffy a little bit. It is a very good win. It's not really a bad look on Fluffy. It's a good look on Sean. Fluffy's going to come back and get better. Thing is, he has a win over Nasruddin. The matchup between him and Hamzat is more intriguing than the matchup between him and Nasruddin, but Nasruddin does deserve the title shot. With how middleweight is right now, you got these guys fighting. And Anthony should be fighting the winner of those guys fighting. I think Drickish is probably going to fight Allen. Freaking Adesany's not really in the picture anymore. He's fighting freaking Joe Pyfer. This is what should happen. He should fight the winner of this. See you later.